Now let us learn more about magnetic induction.
Faraday observed that whenever the magnetic flux changes, it gives rise to a voltage and consequently to a current, meaning that a changing magnetic flux is a source of EMF. Now, magnetic flux can be changed either by moving a magnet, say inside the coil of a metal conductor, or you move the coil itself and keep the two magnetic poles in a fixed position. In the simplest form, the electromagnetic induction produces or induces a voltage across a conductor which is moving through a magnetic field. And the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction states that the induced electromotive force, that is EMF, in any closed circuit is equal to the rate of change of magnetic flux through that circuit. In other words, for any closed circuit such as a loop of a wire, when the magnetic flux through the surface bounded by the conductor changes, there will be induced EMF. Now, here let me remind you of a childhood pastime. You take two large pieces of broken bangle, then hold the middle of one of them on a candle flame, then the glass will bend and you bend it slightly so that the two open ends will meet. Then you weave the another piece through this loop and again bend the second broken piece on the flame at its middle section, so that it will also bend and the two ends will meet. Thus, you have two bangles whose loops are woven into each other like this. Now, this is how Faraday visualized the loops of the conducting wire and the invisible loop of the magnetic flux. A corollary from Faraday's law was given by Lenz and very analogous to the Newton's third law of action and reaction. The Lenz's law says an induced current is always in such a direction that it will oppose the motion or the change which has caused it. Thus, for a loop we can write epsilon is equal to minus d phi by dt, where epsilon is the electromotive force in volt and phi is the magnetic flux in Weber. T of course is the time. For a very common but a very special case where instead of one loop you have a coil of wire which is composed of n loops with the same area, the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction will be slightly modified and it will be epsilon is equal to minus n times d phi by dt, where n is the number of turns of wire in the coil. The opposite sign. Now, this opposite sign comes from the opposition created by the induced current, which is as per the Lenz's law. Now, we come to the unit. If the rate of change of current in the circuit is 1 ampere per second and the resulting electromotive force is 1 volt, then we say that the inductance of the circuit is 1 Henry. The name Henry to this unit of inductance was given in the honor of Henry, who was a contemporary scientist who also accomplished lot of studies on the subject of electromagnetic induction along with Faraday. Now, what is the most significant aspect of Faraday's discovery? On the application side, it tells us very simple, you move a magnet and you can produce EMF. Thus, we see that while Volta discovered how chemical energy is converted into electrical energy, Faraday's discovery was a way to convert mechanical energy into electrical energy. This led to a whole range of generator, electric motors, transformers, and in fact, it led to a complete new branch named electrical engineering. As I earlier mentioned, unlike other known sources of power, the electrical power available in the current could be transported to long distances and made available at the other place. This had very far reaching consequences. Let us learn about these things, how it is done. In physics, there is a trick to understand many phenomena. You always think in terms of a pair of efforts and flow. Their product is power. Thus, when effort is force and flow is velocity, then you have the equation F times u is equal to power. When effort is EMF, the flow is current, and you have the equation V into I is equal to power. If you have a magnetic field B and a length of a conductor L and a current I is passed through this conductor, then because of the passage of current, the magnetic flux will change and the conductor will experience a force. This force will be equal to B times I times L, that is B I L. And if the conductor has a velocity u, then the power will be force into velocity, which is B I L times u. On the other hand, if the EMF which is generated in the conductor is epsilon, then by definition epsilon is equal to B times L times u or B L u, and the power will be B L u times I. So, you see that the power which you calculate from the mechanical side is equal to the power which you calculate from the electrical side. Thus, you just remember this concept of effort and flow and their product is power, and you can understand a lot about power generation.